Our meetup group is best explained through the words, leadership is something you learn, not something you're born with. Our meetup group is a place for leaders working in tech to share their experience and learn from each other. Each of our meetups has a topic, a theme. We usually have 2-3 speakers tell their stories on that topic. We like our speakers to tell their own personal experiences, their stories, instead of giving theoretical lessons. The theme for the 4th meetup of the 4th season, the meetup that we have today, is impossible. For one, this meetup felt impossible 5 years ago. We didn't even dare to dream that far ahead. Today, let's talk about impossible objectives. Sometimes these objectives are set by our leaders and we are compelled to try and reach them. Some other times, preposterous objectives are created for us by us. Let's discuss what kind of skills, structures, situations help and allow us to try and reach the seemingly impossible. Today, we're going to have 2 speakers tell their stories. That's Eglė, Radvilė, who's the CTO of Vilnius, and Audrius, Bugas, who's VP of Technology at HomeToGo. During their presentations, if you have any questions, ask them in the YouTube chat. I'm going to read those questions back to the speaker after they're finished their presentation. If you yourself would like to speak at a future Tech Leads meetup, send me an email at mindaugas@vinted.com. That's my first name at vinted.com. And now, without further ado, I would like to welcome our first speaker to tell her story. Eglė, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mindaugas, for inviting me here. And it's like a very engaging topic, so I will do my best. Okay, so let's start. Today I decided to talk about my private story, about what I am doing and why, and just to show a few, not a few, a little more project or innovation prototypes that maybe could be nice to hear about that Vilnius are already in it. So I decided to start from the childhood, and sometimes I'm just thinking why I'm doing so, and why my family thinking so. So I think that in our family we always were without limit. I never heard from my father that it's not for a woman, and he was knitting clothes to us. My mom was a superhero at medicine, and for example, my grandma was the first woman allowed to work with motorcycle because she was a doctor and she needs speed. So I was growing, and I was like dancing ballet and shooting and or of course driving motorcycle in my teenager age, and all these different types of what I am doing now help me to understand that it's no limits when you can think about innovation, or if you are thinking a little bit different without any borders. So sometimes it's really help to do sometimes impossible things. So I think that these facts are very important, and I want just to say a few facts about what I'm doing. I'm not just city CTO, so it's like position, but I love people. I'm the head of Lithuania CEO Club, so it's 77 men from private or public sector. We are all together, and we are deciding together where to go or where not to go. I'm very proud that I was the head and the lead of the largest Lithuanian civilian digital training test. was thousands of people from airports, from army, from network institution. We were preparing for the wharf, and also did it with railway the same. And 2019, during the summer, we did it with Vilnius City. We trained our team how to act in emergency situation, and thank you God, because we had COVID here on March, and we were prepared and trained. So it was really a helpful situation. And I'm also the lead of volunteers association called the Legion of Gediminas. We are helping people in different ways. For this moment, we are caring for people, for seniors, for doctors, and protecting some school equipment and so on. So also I'm the PhD of IT, and I'm a lucky one. I'm studying in Harvard University for digital transformation. So I'm doing a lot of things, and I'm really interested in human and human understanding technologies. So first of all, how I just reach maybe my goal to go to the strategical direction of Vilnius City. So I decided to tell a story about city without with city that there are a lot of people without devices in their hands. They are happy. There are no roads. There are no cars. There is no police. That just police is caring about artificial intelligence, bad artificial intelligence, and there are no schools as a building. We have mentors, politics like leaders, and so on. So with this vision, I met our mayor and administration director, and I told them that yeah, we can reach it. We need just 10 or 15 years, and Vilnius could be like this, like the city from future movie that everybody is going, I don't know, like aliens, but at the same time, they are very happy and relaxed and no technologies. So we decided to create a digital strategy that without technology. So this is the main reason that technology should be underground, and underground is mean that not first one and not in the middle. So we created this digital strategical direction. We called it 2IN, intelligent and innovation, and decided to create city, wow city. Okay, so it was step one. And for this moment, I want just to tell how we did it with the different, we not did it yet, but how we are doing it and what we already done with different initiatives and different projects. And some of them 2 years ago, it was really impossible. Today it's like, okay, as usual. So let's start. My start was, let's move your, your legs. And I decided to visit all possible companies in Vilnius. In Vilnius Municipality administration, we have here 375 companies and 30,000 people working here. So a lot of, but to understand how the city is moving and what we need and what we can create. So I decided to talk with wherever, specialists, heads, labs heads, water, heating, electricity, whatever. So I was trying to understand how we are working, but not in process and what exactly system or process we should fit in this ecosystem, but I was trying to understand how these people think. And this is the main idea, because you cannot create any innovation or any impossible project if you do not have a team. So I created a group of people from the heads. We call it We Are CTOs. And every month we were talking about how to understand technology, what the main problem is, why we're not moving so fast, and so on. So the main message from this slide is that we were talking with each other. The message from this slide was that we decided to go everywhere. So I was in Israel talking with the highest tech companies, what they are doing, how they are moving, what Tel Aviv Municipality exactly doing, why they're moving so good and so fast. Then I decided to go around the Lithuanian municipalities. And for example, let's do a lesson how to use a signature. So I was like teaching some administrations how to use these simple, stupid things. And then they helped me to understand how these processes are going. So it was like 2 months going around, talking with business, with other municipalities. And then I said, you know, I know what is it. So I'm sorry for Lithuanian one, but this is not a very important what is written. It's that I just said, okay, now I have my own truth. So this is how our municipality works. So this is the main picture. And if it is like algorithm, if we can put a super project into a portfolio, then after 1 year, we have a really good result. So I decided to put this picture on every wall, on, I don't know, like mayor, vice mayor, on desktop, or to talk with each other about that, to talk with each person in municipality, how it's working, why it's working, to create, of course, open source, because it's Vilnius city, open source product of ideas of projects and of services, to create policy, how it's working. And okay, it's a simple slide of how I put in the mouth of my boss. He was talking about, and sometimes he needs some explanation what he's talking about. So it's Pavlos hours. So he did a lot of job in this task. So we just wanted to create the same culture from one picture. Okay, it's not just so simple, but the main idea is like that, to be on the same page. So digital, it's nothing about technology. It's all about the people. And we were talking really maybe too much, but one idea that I met in my life is that you need to have your leaders, 3 leaders, and you need to have inputs and outputs of these. So I spent my teenager with Pope, John Pope. I'm not a Christian, a really deep Christian, but I learned to love everyone, and to meet each person in the stage he is. For example, if he don't know anything about digital or innovation, so it's okay. I can lead him to the other stage, and this is no problem. I am not saying. So I love Michelle Obama. I was seeking her and following her when she was in Europe, not just because I love to know what she was doing in, I don't know, in the period of president and so on, but how she's improving the concept to meet this mass of people and to create a feeling that, yes, you are in and you are understanding how it's going, all these details prepared for concerts and for shows. It was really amazing and I learned a lot. And of course, I learned from our special force leader. It's Victor's, not fighting, but I learned trust, because he really trusts each person in his team more than maybe he trusts, I know, his mom or God, wherever it is. So I just wanted to show the slide, because when you are doing a lot of nice things, innovation and strong policies, so you have to have your own leaders just sometimes just to check, is it okay? Are you on the same page that you prepared for all of this? So these three. Okay, so it will be some example of our innovation. We decided that we want to be the most happiest city in Europe. And we decided to put cameras around the Vilnius and to scan people's face, all these emotions when they are crossing streets, when they are going through buildings. So we have a lot of cameras here, and we are counting this happiness index during the day online, and it was the most successful project of 2020 in Europe horizontal. So it's innovation that we can use it for politics, we can use it for planning, we can understand how one area of the city is feeling this morning and why, to have this political decision. So this short example is about happiness index. This slide is about hackathons, but I want to say that it's not really about hackathons. It's about culture and community, about that every person in Vilnius could have a good idea, and sometimes he's afraid to go to share or to show what he's doing. So this is the place where we can meet each other and where our ideas start. So I think that it's really, so this is example about, we thought that it was impossible. Then COVID came and it it came true. So we decided to create a group of people from IT sector from Vilnius that they are working near the river and near the lake, and to create systems, remote system that helps to work. So for this moment, it's nothing new and nothing really important, but it was 2 years ago. And this idea was that we are going through Lithuania every month, a different city, and we are working remotely, and municipality is paying for our vacation just because we can create something for this municipality per 1 day. So this is Zavasai, and we created children garden map per, I think, 3 hours. And they said, oh my God, it was a project for 5 years. So you did it, how it's possible. So, okay, so it was a really good project, and now it's reality and it's everyday project. Okay, this is I think this is one of amazing thing. We decided to celebrate our national day. We call it Joniness. So we're sitting near the fire and singing national songs. So we decided to invite our children to create a virtual reality map and to find this flower on virtual reality, and it was really exciting because we had thousands of people around the Vilnius with us together, and they were playing. They were very happy, and I think we could do it each year, except if it is COVID. Okay, this is amazing thing. I think it's future, but it's already here. So we decided to create a second city second floor. Idea is that if you could just imagine for a moment the futurist film that flying objects everywhere in the city, bus and cars. So we decided to prepare an infrastructure for the city to plan all these corridors, speeds, and software rules, addresses, everything, including cargo, safety, and so on. So we're creating this map now. It's already for 2 years, and thank you, COVID. You helped me a lot because we had some test projects. So it was first drones alarming. We were checking isolated person in the house, just flying with the drone and looking, is it he here or not? It was like saying hi, hello. And we think that we can be not just like the first city, but we can reach that Vilnius could be really a second floor city with all infrastructure 2025. So when I'm telling people from government, they saying that it's something like that. So we have a lot of different people, and no one can just seek innovation so fast. Okay, so this is just short and possible, but we decided to create an intelligent operations center where we can see an economy. So no one can see an economy because this is in the paper or in the folder. So we decided to show how economies look like. So it's on the map. For example, you can imagine one street and you can count, okay, so it will be wherever, how does it cost to close the road for the business in the street? If we are just constructing one school, what is the effect of this area? So nobody asking these questions. So they close and so on, go around, no problem. So this is our intelligent operations center. Data for decision and for planning, for understanding our behavior and so on. So we are already doing this. And okay, this is possible and impossible, but it's intelligent energy. And this is a lab for people to create better Vilnius. How we are working, and municipality decided to open all infrastructure. So we're saying, okay, you can use wherever you want in our city if you have a good idea. So a lot of company came here, and now we are creating like heating, cooling, green data, circular economy, and other ideological projects. But we are going on this direction, and I think it's really very important that municipality could help these startups and companies to go forward. Okay, this is I think the most important part. From this September, we are starting a prototyping in our schools, 10 schools, from 5 to 12th class. Each kid or teenager could select one of the 4th language. He can select e-sport, gaming, to understand that he should be really very strong, healthy, and strategical thinking person. Then he can use e-sport or hack. Hack is very popular these days. Yes, and moreover, it's virtual reality or programming. So what we wanted to do, we wanted to create the nation, maybe nation of people who can do these AT things, like usual things. Okay, and as I say, very important of these days. So hack me if you can. We decided to open our system for hacking. You can hack wherever you want. Just one rule: you have to register your ID. And why we are doing this? We think that if we can ask hackers what we are doing wrong, and if they can tell us, so it's very important to have this conversation. And we're not thinking that it's just bad guys and they want to do some bad things for municipality. So we have a lot of nice people. We met a lot of nice hackers here. They told us a lot of gaps, and we save a lot of money for that. And now we are going forward. We seeking to have all municipality companies, all these 375 companies, open system for hackers, but not for the bad way, but for the good way. So yes, it's a little bit strange, but I think it will be a very popular program, and I'm sure that some business can do it in some way. I'm not sure. Is it fit for business? So what I wanted to say today, that first of all, I'm not usual thinking person, and sometimes I have a problem that people could not understand what I really wanted to do or what I really wanted to say, but it's not a problem in a long period. I have a lot of arguments, and I can create really nice projects. So then my motto is about thinking why not about why we need this, why we already did it, so maybe let's do something else. So I think that each person could create some impossible projects, some impossible direction with team and with ecosystem. And I think that in our city, we are ready to accept every impossible project as possible and right one. So it was my presentation. I'm not sure that I fit in this possible, but I really wanted to share with this project, because a lot of people just don't know that we are doing these things. And I want to just to invite, to write me if you want, to say what you're doing, and maybe we as Vilnius Municipality could sometimes just be a partner or help to reach the stars. So thank you. I think it's Mindaugas says something.
Thank you, Eglė. Applause. Sadly, we cannot have a huge room of people applauding your talk. So my single applause will have to do. It seems that you've truly led some reaching of some impossible objectives and continue to lead the reaching of some impossible objectives. And when I see that your motto is think why not, the question that I have personally is, what gives you, Eglė, the drive, the motivation to work on these things, to really, what makes you so driven and so motivated?
I never thought about that. Maybe this was, I told this something from the childhood, because I was in the family, so they are always were doing some amazing things, and they do now. And when I'm talking with them that I'm doing this or that, so normal is like to say, oh, okay. So maybe this, or otherwise it's very important when you can create something and then to go to Berlin, for example, or to London, and to hear that, in Vilnius Municipality, or Vilnius City, or wherever, they are not saying Vilnius, they're saying Lithuania, they are doing like that. And then you can say, yes, it was me, or not again, that was me, it's our project. So it's to be proud of your nation, maybe something like that.
Cool. We have a couple of more questions in the chat. The first one is regarding the happiness index. And the question is, shouldn't you have permissions from people whose faces are being scanned?
Okay, thank you for the question. I was prepared for this question. I was answering in TV, radio, and newspapers and laws a lot of times. So this technology is not scanning the face. So I'm just saying that it's scanning the face. We have some points from cameras, and then we deciding from these points is it one of mirror emotion, and we are not using it in we're not saving it in database. It's a moment, and we have a lot of audits, and it's Euro project, so we have audits during the year and so on. So we don't need permission. We don't need permission just because we are not using this data for database, whatever.
Okay, clear. Another question we have is about education. Did you consider scaling up some already existing tech education programs for kids? For example, Sorcery Academy for kids.
Because my kids gave me juice, so please repeat once again.
No problem. The question is about education, and it's, did you consider scaling up some already existing tech education programs for kids? For example, Sorcery Academy for kids.
All this education for kids or for teenagers are really good and fit, but it's not for daily teaching or daily learning. So my idea to do IT, one of IT language, as daily language, daily skill, and all these, I know, NKKM, Code Academy, Computeruk, and all others, they are doing amazing things, and this is okay, and let's do it, but this is something else, because we need to teach these kids every day, and 10 years, so it's something else. but it's else and common on the same ways.
Okay, clear. And we have one final question. It starts with a comment thanking you for the presentation and asking to continue doing what you're doing for Vilnius.
Oh.
And then the question is, would you agree that child's education is the best long-term investment for Vilnius and the entire country?
I think that one investment never working. So we have to have like a program. I don't like this word. We have to have some like 5 or even 7 big points and just shooting in these points every day. And when government changing, do not turn it in other way. Just to do exactly what we are doing. Education, yes, education is so it's our future. Without education and without children, we are not reach the star of the moon. Now we're now we're seeking the Mars. I think so. Yes, education is very important. So we know about that, and we are trying to do some nice innovation here, but we have to understand that we have older people, we have economy, we have trees, energy, and all these things. So all together, we will build this super city without people, without devices in your hands.
Okay, clear. And that was all the questions that we had. Thank you, Eglė, again for your presentation and answering these questions. And now I would like to ask Audrius to start your presentation.
My name is Audrius, and I'm working at HomeToGo. I'm the guy who works at HomeToGo for 7 years already, and I'm responsible for consumer product and marketing engineering. First of all, thanks for inviting me. I'm really happy to contribute to Vilnius Tech Leads community. And today I'm going to share one of HomeToGo experiences, and I called it How to Save a Brand in 10 Days. Once Bugas told me about the theme and possible objectives, honestly, I have quite a bit to think about what I'm going to talk. Sure, we had many interesting problems and challenges to solve at HomeToGo, but once you accomplish it, it does not look too scary anymore, unless you fail. But if you fail, you probably don't want to talk about it too much, right? So I picked the experience which required good team effort, coordination, and urgency, and it was quite unusual. So before we start, let me share some context who we are and what we do. So HomeToGo is the largest vacation rental search engine around the globe. So we have most of the vacation rentals on our platform, so our customers has the best variety to choose from and to spend their magnificent vacation. And all this inventory aggregated from more than 1,000 websites and trusted partners, and it's in one place. So this is what we do, and what I like about HomeToGo is that we have strategic approach. We have our goals and objectives, but at the same time, we are very opportunistic, right? So we are willing to take short-term opportunities if we see that it makes sense and completely change our plans and take it. And those changes and transformations are in our DNR. For example, we are releasing company and department goals every quarter, And instead of committing to do specific projects or deliverables, we try to commit to result and impact, ideally metric-based. Let's say, yeah, we want to increase conversion rate on our website, or increase retention rate. And we prepare some examples, initiatives to illustrate how we are going to execute it. But in the process, if we see that there's a better way, or we find that our ideas were bad, we are going to completely change our plans and do something else to achieve the same exact goals. So this amount of freedom, amount of flexibility to take those decisions, it's something I really like. And this story I'm going to share is partially illustrating that. So let's get into it. It was, yeah, Friday afternoon in September 2018 when CTO invited me into the room and said, "Hey, Audrius, there's a thing, we need to talk." And he said, "Well, we have an idea and we need to decide on tech feasibility right now. So basically, we are considering to buy a company called Vimdu. And Vimdu was a company founded in 2011 as European Airbnb competitor. Basically, it's a marketplace where people can rent their rooms or flats or houses, whatever, for all the users to stay for vacation or for whatever purpose. Basically, European Airbnb clone. And to a certain degree, they reached a lot of and did a lot of good things. They developed a great brand and had a strong content on the website and loyal users and so on and so on. But yeah, they faced some problems on the way, and here we are considering to acquire the assets from Vimdu. So basically, the idea would be that we as HomeToGo, we acquire those assets, brand and the content, and we run it as a white label, so branded website, to show and propose our inventory and accommodations for loyal Vimdu customers. We would preserve search engines rating, let's say Google organic search rating. We would like to move everything on HomeToGo platform, and this will be fully branded and themed website. And of course, the homeowner business Vimdu been running, this will be shut down because, well, this is not something what we do. As I mentioned, we aggregate all the vacation rentals from many other websites. And actually, we already had a Vimdu as a supply partner of ours. So I already knew what's the Vimdu. So I thought for 1 minute, yeah, that sounds so cool. It's totally possible. Let's go for it. Let's do it. But then, yeah, Audrius said, there's a catch. Yeah, there always is a catch. Yeah, and we need to be super fast here. So here we are, Friday afternoon, September 21st, deciding on tech feasibility. So Vimdu, no matter what we decide, is going to publicly release the news that they shut down the business and the system will no longer accept any bookings. Yeah. It does not make sense, of course, because business is about to shut down, right? And on October 8th, again, no matter what we do, Vimdu is going to shut down their existing systems. Website won't be reachable anymore. And what it means for us, right? So it means that if we start on Monday, September 24, we have 3 business days to do something with loyal Vimdo customers who cannot make bookings anymore on Vimdo website. So some intermediate solution needed here. And we have 10 business days to make a completely new website on our platform to welcome all those customers. Yeah, and to save the brand and all those assets I mentioned in previous slide. Quite a challenge, right? And I think we did quite some sketches on the whiteboard. After a few hours of the discussion, we said, okay, let's do it. And we called our COO, and the deal was continued to be negotiated from that point. And it was even harder here because, well, September 24th, on Monday, we still needed to keep things very confidential because the deal was still negotiated. So that was, yeah, that had still higher complexity just because of that. So we started the meeting early Monday morning. We included some team members into the meeting, and after a few hours, we decided on the concept, what we are going to do for this intermediate solution for the stage one. So we basically decided that we are going to welcome Vimdo users on our website, on HomeToGo website, once they do search action or once they try to book a property for their vacation, and with a simple message on the website that Vimdo is getting a new facelift. Meanwhile, check vacation rentals at our partner HomeToGo website. Vimdo agreed to execute those redirects to our platform. So this was our initial idea. And for the rentals itself, we really leveraged the situation that we had Vimdo as a partner on our platform. And we usually map all the properties from different websites and detect duplicates. The same vacation rental might be on other websites like bookings.com, HomeAway, or whatever. So we knew those duplicates, so we could really suggest the alternative booking website for users for the same vacation rental. One of the biggest challenges we had at the first stage was to map destination tree. So we had as a partner, as a Vimdo partner, all their inventory, all their properties, including their destination IDs. Let's say Bremen, the city, on Vimdo platform had certain ID, and we needed to map this ID to HomeToGo system, where we also have a city Bremen. So we had all the Vimdo inventory. We had mapping to HomeToGo destinations. We had Vimdo properties also matched to Vimdo destination. So we needed to develop algorithm in 2 days, basically, to map those IDs. So we could really do those redirects. And if users searched for Bremen on Vimdo website, we still show Bremen on HomeToGo website. So this was the most challenging task. Luckily, we had our geography team. They been executing similar things before. It took 2 days for them to execute this project. So we executed, I think, actually right on time, all the changes needed. And here we are. We start to see Vimdo traffic, Vimdo users flowing to HomeToGo website, to HomeToGo systems. And it's really good news. We see those users search, those users book, right? Great. We realize that this is not the best experience, right? You try to search for something at Vimdo and suddenly you are on different website with completely different experience. But it's a good news. Yeah, those users does not bounce away too much. It's not that bad as an intermediate solution. Yeah, and the scary news, there's no more way back. Yeah, so this means that we still have a bit more than a week to develop the website. Yeah? So stage 2, that was quite more challenging versus stage 1. Basically what we did, yeah, this is Vimdo website today, and it's built on HomeToGo systems. So it's the same backend and the same technology under the hood, right? It's just a different skin and different set of features enabled for this specific platform. You see even design and result cards looks quite different from what we have on HomeToGo. So it's still very unique brand. And we had 10 days to build this website. The biggest challenges here. Replicating SEO structure. This was extremely difficult because of slow feedback loop. Yeah, you release your pages and you wait for days or for weeks until you realize how Google or any other search engine takes it and what are the ratings and what is the traffic. Yeah, and of course it's a high risk. Yeah, it might take one bad decision to mess it up and might take years to build it on track again. Unique look and feel, feature differences. Not all of the HomeToGo features make sense on Vimdo, and other way around. Not every Vimdo feature needs to be on HomeToGo. So we needed to solve that somehow. Data quality. We were not quite sure if we're getting all the content from existing Vimdo system and all the access to databases and so on to get this content, to get those pages and texts, right? So we needed to do some crawling of the website just to make sure that we won't lose everything. And going to the production, once we swapped those DNS records, we started to see what traffic levels are and if those traffic levels are okay, if we have some 404s or other errors and so on and so on. So going to production was quite a challenge. And we executed. And what I can say today, what are the success factors of the story? First of all, I could say planning and simplicity. So in the picture, you actually see the screenshot from actual roadmap we had back then. Yeah, and it's really that simple. And for that kind of projects where we need speed and coordination between different teams, we still use spreadsheets, no fancy tools, just because you have full picture and full overview in one place. Every initiative has a milestone. It had the milestones and ETA days with the daily deliverables with clear owners for each initiative. And we had daily check-in meetings with the team leads, try to figure out if we have showstoppers or blockers, or if we discovered something and make changes and react to the situation as fast as possible. And one coordinating person for whole roadmap, having overview. Then I would say it's the way of work we had at HomeToGo even before. Quick release cycle, multiple releases to production per day. Sometimes we do even 60 releases per day. Trunk-based development. Every commit goes to production and from every person daily. That's what we have, and for that kind of project, it's crucial. Risk is high, yeah. So as soon as you see something and you can test in production, it's good. And feature toggles, not only for the risk management, but for feature differences. As I mentioned before, Vimdo was and still is quite a different platform from HomeToGo. Other factors, the decision itself and this business decision. End of the day, it's not that different domain, not that different business. It's still about the accommodation, right? So the overlap of the features was quite high, and we knew what we are doing. So this is because we had a success here. Wise prioritization. Sure, we dropped a lot of features from Vimdo, and sure, we dropped a lot of content because otherwise we could not execute it in 10 days. Audista tool helped us a lot to compare SEO landing pages and all the linkings and structures inside. So we scanned all website, new website, and had certain degree of trust that it's going to be okay with the SEO. And the system architecture itself, luckily we had the database of URL paths supported by our system. Well, it's not all of the URL paths, but we have such a database, so we could quickly import large number of window pages into our system, Google index pages, and have those URLs on a production. Most important factor, teamwork. I like this exercise a lot because, well, it teaches us as an organization to think globally, not to think only about my priorities or my team priorities, right? But to really think globally what matters the most for the company. In this case, we have very concrete project, very concrete deliverable we need to achieve as a company, and there's a deadline. So I really liked this exercise, and yeah, kudos for everyone involved into this project for working so hard here. And sure, we made some debt. Yeah, so it took quite some time for us to clean it up. First of all, we increased our build times, which is waiting and work efficiency penalty. We had to warm up some additional our framework environments and caches on build and deploy. Our Webpack build got slower because suddenly we needed to prepare different sets of style sheets for the Vimdo, and it got slower, so it took some time for us to clean it up. Also, we made quite a lot of CSS hacks. So I remember I could not find this line anymore in commit history, but there was a CSS override, and variable colored green was the value blue color. Yeah, so it was quite funny to see that, and this was quite messy. It took a while for us to develop design system and really to enter our platform into this multi-tenancy mode, so it can support multiple brands, multiple websites, and multiple themes. Business rules and configuration. Not every partner, not every supply partner of ours wants to be on Vimdo. So we need to have capabilities to turn them off. So all those business rules and configuration needed to be developed. And eventually we implemented multi-tenancy even for our native apps, and did a swap in App Store and Google Play, just because we've seen that users still trying to download the old Vimdo app. So this was another opportunity. And turns out it was very good investment to do, because we did it again and again. Sometime later, we acquired our American competitor, tripping.com. Again, tripping.com is the same as Vimdo today. It's another branded portal, another branded website on our platform, and it has own theme and own look and feel. And sometime later, we also acquired Casamundo, which was and still is one of the strongest brands for vacation rentals in Germany. Right, so it was all good investment. And fun fact, it took 7 days for us to migrate tripping, so from 10 days down to 7. So this was my story, and let's connect. If you have a feedback for me, if you like my talk or want to talk to me in general, reach me at the LinkedIn. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Audrius. Before we let you go, we have a couple of questions in the chat. So the first question is, I think you've talked a lot about what made this project successful. And the question is, what would you do differently next time? Are there any migration steps that could have been done better?
Yes, of course. We had some small steps. And as I mentioned before, right, we migrated tripping in 7 days, so we learned something. It was faster, right? But there's not much space for improvement. You have so strict deadline. Of course, it will be a bit messy, and of course, you will make decisions you're not too happy about it, but it's important to clean it up afterwards, right? So you do all this refactoring work and not to leave your life and your developer experience terrible, which we did. So maybe some small things I would do differently, but not the approach itself. It was fine. It was successful, so it's good.
You mentioned the specific deadline. In a lot of companies, specific deadlines a lot of times lead to overtime. Did overtime happen at HomeToGo with this project?
We had this on the table. We discussed with a few people working on a project if they would be willing to do if we are in trouble, but this was not needed. We've seen that we are doing fine, everything's on plan, and we've been quite confident about it.
Okay. One last question that we have in the chat is, obviously, teams had their roadmaps, plans, and other commitments before jumping on this venture. How did you measure impact to those other commitments, to those prior given commitments before saying, let's do this Vimdo thing?
Yes. So, of course, we thought about this, right? And in a project like that, it's opportunity which will go away in a few days, right? So it's a bit opportunistic decision, but we saw that the Vimdo brand will serve us for many years, right? And whatever initiatives we do, we can use those initiatives later on the Vimdo website again. And yeah, it took many years for Vimdo people to develop this brand and many good decisions, and think how valuable it is, right? It's not something you can achieve, I don't know, by doing another quick project in 10 days, right? So you won't build a brand in 10 days. To buy a brand and to utilize it for many years, well, this is much easier. So it's quite straightforward decision here.
Okay, clear. And these are all the questions that we had. Thank you again, Audrius. This is it for today's meetup. Thank you again, everyone. Thank you, everyone who make this event possible. Thanks again for the speakers for sharing their experience, and for everyone who participated in this event. To stay up to date on our future events, you can find them on our meetup.com page. You can find that page by simply going to techleads.lt, and that will redirect you to our meetup.com page. Or you can subscribe to this YouTube channel that you're watching the current event on. And I hope to see you next time. So see you, everyone.
you.